Beep, beep, boop, bop. 3, 2, 1, we're live.
Whoa, I didn't know you spoke robot.
Pretty impressive, right?
That is. You should put that on your resume. Bilingual.
Binary.
Well,
Beep boop boop pop. So fucking awkward.
I can't think of any good witty jokes.
I'm like,
He's like, wow.
I can't compute. Jokey.
normally when I say something like that, you come back pretty quick with something, and so like when you
We were
didn't say
waiting.
anything, you're just smiling, looking
Well,
back and forth.
How about this? I had about 3 things loaded up, but let's say they're a little edgy for this podcast.
Yeah, this is a family show.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I was hesitating for. Gentlemen, we had a couple weeks gap. We recorded last week.
Yeah.
This week's coming in hot. We got some big stuff to talk about. What have you guys been playing?
Nothing.
Baldur's
Can I-
Gate.
Oh God, you're lame. All right, let me talk about what
Here,
I've been
no.
playing.
I want to. No. I'm okay. You can talk about it.
Talk about Baldur's Gate.
I
I'm
have
talking
some.
about mesh servers, binary.
I've been
No, not about Baldur's Gate.
I've been playing Mass Effect.
Shut the fuck up. We're not talking about Baldur's Gate.
I'm
We're
not-
not talking about Mass Effect. We're
I
not
wanted to
talking
talk
Cyberpunk.
X-Men. I finished it. I watched the last episode.
Finally, bro.
Wow. All right, here
It
we
was
are.
great.
Coming to you live, guys. Few weeks behind. A few months behind.
I know that everyone was waiting to hear our review before
Yeah,
they watched
they were.
it.
They were.
Reviews were virtually non-existent.
Well, we could give like a season
Hashtag
overall
thoughts?
review now. Hashtag thoughts. I thought it was really good. I thought they set up some exciting like storylines for next season, and the animation killed it. I think they did a great job of like in the whole season overall. It starts off with like the traditional, like it looks like the old show, and then at one point it kind of slips into where they start to incorporate more modern,
Yeah.
and I really love that.
I think it shines specifically in the fight scenes.
Oh,
The
100%.
animation's so good in the fight. Oh my god, the fight scene with Wolverine and Nightcrawler versus the human Sentinels.
Uh-huh.
Dude, when Wolverine gets blasted in the sky and he's just slicing people on his way down, and then these swords, he's controlling one sword with his tail, and
Yeah.
they're just slicing fools. And I love that they did that as a way to get around the whole like TVMA thing, because like they're humans, but they're robot humans.
So
So they use that as an excuse to let Wolverine just shred people.
yeah.
And it's so good. I love that fight scene. Man, the final episode in particular, the whole like Wolverine trapped in his own mind thing, after the fallout between their mind battle.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you mean Magneto trapped in his mind?
why did I say Wolverine? Magneto.
Yeah.
Magneto trapped in his mind.
I was like,
That
"Damn,
was
this-"
so good. Like that whole like everything about like the back and forth between Charles and Magneto, and
trying to get him to trust him, but he doesn't remember who he,
he doesn't
is.
remember, and like he's about to like basically be trapped in a comatose state forever, and then him overcoming that, and like always have loved the Magneto Professor X relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And this was like a lot of that. It
And
was
really
good.
well done.
Really well done. It makes me really like, man, how awesome would it be to see that exact thing play out, but with like Michael Fassbender and James McAvoy? It would have been so good. It makes me hopeful for when they finally bring in X-Men into the MCU.
I know. I want them to keep those writers. Have them make the movie. I know that you said the creator got
Bo
fired
DeMayo,
for
they haven't
some unknown reason.
They haven't revealed what he got fired for, and he hasn't revealed it either. And so, like, a lot of people are like, you know, like, bring him back, bring him back. But I'm like, maybe we should, like, know exactly why they let him go to begin with. It could be something stupid.
Yeah.
It could be, but it could be something pretty serious, too. We don't know. And the fact that he's not talking about it, he probably just signed an NDA. So it's probably not a huge deal on whatever it was. But I'd like to know before I jump on the bring him back
yeah.
bandwagon, because I like, what if it turns out he like, you know, he punched a coworker or something? Like, you know, it could be anything. Not that I'm saying it's that. We should be careful on the whole uncanceling of someone.
He was just the head writer, or
He was the showrunner, and so
Showrunner.
he was. It was basically his vision that created that. The next season is also going to be his because he finished season 2 before
They let him go.
Yeah, and season 2 is rumored to be dropped this holiday season.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how
That
quick,
soon?
because it was such a success that it's already done. They're like, let's just drop it again. It's gonna be some apocalypse shit.
Yeah, well, and they teased
past-
Apocalypse, and they teased what is Scott's
I forget
kid?
the storyline, but like in the future,
Yeah, Cable.
Cable, just Nathan at this point.
Yeah.
He's not Cable yet.
He's not Cable yet. So that'll be interesting. I love, like you, Kyle. I love the animation, especially in the last few episodes. Well, I mean the whole show, but was never really a big fan of Jubilee. But how they draw her fighting is so fucking cool.
Yeah, when I don't even know how she was doing it when she was using her
Fireworks.
fireworks. Yeah,
Yeah.
she just like light manipulation. I'm not even really 100% sure what her powers are, but apparently she can make that shit hot.
Yeah.
because she was melting fools.
It was cool, and then I do think there was some weak episodes. I do have to say, I know we're praising it, but like to me, I know you liked it. I didn't like the Storm episode. I thought it was
The Storm episode,
I thought it felt out of place where they put
Life
it.
Death.
Yeah, just pacing wise, because it happens right after Genosha, and I
Yeah.
was like,
Well, that was such a high.
yeah.
So it felt like that should have happened before Genosha.
Yeah, like it should have been. I don't like that it happened right after, and
I
we didn't get to
remember-
see everything resolved in Genosha until after Storm's episode.
If I remember right, I think I said that was one of the weaker ones because that was also the Motendo. It was Motendo / Life
that
Death.
one, yeah.
I liked Storm as a character, and I thought that the second part of Life Death wasn't bad, but I felt like it was a little choppy. It kind of cut up
Yeah.
the more interesting parts. But I also kind of felt that way. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of felt that way a little bit about the Goblin Queen episode.
Yeah, I only like it because the animation. That's when I felt
Yeah.
like they were like, let's modernize it a little bit.
The first,
Like the
well,
fire.
the second episode was like almost peak, and then the Genosha episode was peak, and then that 3-part finale was amazing. Everything else was good. It just wasn't on that level.
Yeah.
For me. But overall, the series is a 9 out of 10 for me if I were to look at it as its collective whole.
Definitely. It's up there with Loki for me. Like
Yeah.
Loki season 1 and season 2.
If only it was live action, then Billy would be
Then he would watch
partaking
it.
in the conversation.
Nah, I'm enjoying listening.
Are you interested to watch it at all?
He can't get past it. I don't
No.
think.
I probably will at some point. I'll probably, now that it's all out, I probably will just sit down and binge it.
'Cause I
there's
do-
30-minute episodes, right?
Some of
like
them are
30,
longer.
45.
30 to
Yeah.
45, and then there's how many of them? There's eight.
Yeah.
So I can knock
is
it out
there
in
8 or was
the
there
afternoon or something.
was there 10?
I think there's only 8 from. I
think it's
we were
8.
sort of. I
8.
was following
The
along.
finale
with you
was
guys.
3-part.
Yeah.
It was a 3-part
And
finale.
and I liked it because all 3 parts were pretty long. Like it's not like 20 minutes on the last part. No, it was like I think 50 minutes on that.
Yeah, you
last
get
part.
like a good hour and a half or more out of that finale.
yeah.
No commercials, so it's all solid,
And I do have to say the first episode, I think it has a slow start, so you have to go
Power
in.
through.
Yeah, that one is more to kind of refresh you on who the X-Men are, where X-Men 97 was when it ended.
Yeah.
I still think it was good, but I think it's in comparison to like episode 2. 2 all of a sudden goes, it takes this huge upturn and
I think like also you said you got this vibe of like it felt like
Go team.
like Power Rangers
Saturday
or
morning.
something.
Exactly.
I think maybe that might have existed a little bit in the first episode, but like that didn't really last long. Like shit hits the fan really quickly.
Mhm.
And it's TV 14. It's not like aimed at like children. It's
Yeah.
aimed at least teenagers. Is the
I think that was
idea?
that
Well-
was sort of because I was living vicariously through you when
Yeah.
you first started watching it, and you said when you started it, you were kind of like, where's this? From how Kyle was talking about it to what was, and then once you got to like 2, 3, and 4, you were like, okay,
So
there's
one
actually a
thing-
pretty dramatic
Yeah.
shift.
One thing you have to consider is episodes 1 and 2 launched at the same time. So in my first viewing, I
You
had
said
watched
watched
episode
them
2
both.
already.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I had already seen that by the time I talked to you. I'd already seen the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, and I would say the difference, like episode 1 is kind of like you get introduced to Sunspot, and he's kind of like the go team. Like he's the audience's window into the X-Men. Like that's what he's supposed to be. But very soon they kind of drop him. Like he's still in it, but they kind of like,
All right,
let's focus on Magneto and
They definitely are like, who are the interesting players?
Yeah.
You know, like Sunspot is kind of just there as a story device to explain what's going on. Like Sunspot's there and like, well, this is blah, blah, blah Sunspot. You know,
Yeah.
like it's better than that, but that's almost why he's there. And then they throw in the whole like, you know, thing where his family is
they don't. Yeah,
they don't like mutants and stuff. And so it's kind of interesting, but I'm more interested in Sunspot now that he's like he's like using all his powers and he's full power level. But was Sunspot one of the ones that went back in time, or is he? No, he's still in the present with Jubilee.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they were still on Earth, or yeah, they were still they were looking up.
They're literally at the end of the series, and we've already spoiled so much and that you don't seem to care, so I'm just gonna keep going. So there's like a time like
Shift.
explosion where
Asteroid M.
yeah, where a whole group of them went back in time. They were sent back to like ancient Egypt where Apocalypse first was around. He was like the first ever mutant, and that's why he's so powerful because he's been alive all this time, and he's like not quite like a Thanos level threat, but he's up there for sure.
You've seen him in a movie.
That was a very bad representation of Apocalypse, but Apocalypse has been in the movies. So they go back in time, and it's when he's first like kind of like seeing his powers and stuff. That'll be interesting because they could do anything with that. Like Apocalypse could be a good guy.
They could do the whole corruption of Apocalypse, or like they could do some type of.
They could even like bring a good Apocalypse to help fight the bad Apocalypse in the future. Like there's so many things they could do with that. And then like some of them went to the future.
It was only two of them, right? It's only
It was
Jean
Jean
and
and Scott.
Yeah.
Conveniently, they're like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, hey!" Now that we're by ourselves, so that'll be interesting because then we could see the arc of how like Nathan becomes Cable. You know. So it's just like a lot of really cool things they could do. They teased potentially bringing Gambit back to life as like because Apocalypse has these followers, kind of in the same way that Thanos does. But Apocalypse he calls them the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Famine, death,
and whatever. And so he imbues mutants with like tremendous power, and then he makes them one of his horsemen. And they kind of tease that they're going to bring Gambit back to life as one of Apocalypse 4 horsemen. So like he's not going to be like the same Gambit, but he's going to be like an evil version of Gambit. So we'll see, we'll see what happens. It can go anywhere, but I'm super excited on how it left off. It was one of the best things. It's one of the most hyped things I've been about Marvel in at least a couple of years, for sure.
Who plays? Haven't we seen Gambit on screen before?
Yeah, he was played by Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah, from John Carter from Mars.
Yeah,
That guy.
Jeez, that's not what I was
he
thinking.
played
Okay.
kind of a shitty version of Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I mean, sadly, a lot of the live action X-Men aren't as
developed.
They're not as well cast as
Yeah.
Wolverine. X-Men sort of, and this is not just the movies, it's also like the comics and the TV show. It sort of became like Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
Like it was the Wolverine show plus the X-Men. And they definitely in this series, they let Wolverine, he has his moments of badassery for
backseat.
sure, but the show's not his show. Like it's like he's one of the supporting characters. I would argue that it's more like Rogue,
Magneto.
Cyclops, Magneto, and Charles. It's like they're the main focus. And that's kind of what I liked about, obviously Rogue and Cyclops weren't in it, but that's kind of what I liked about First Class.
Yeah.
It's because it was
It's the people you're not used to. Like
Yeah.
they have more interesting characters than just Wolverine, But
Wolverine's
he's popular
awesome.
for a reason.
Wolverine's cool.
Yeah.
But it's nice to let other people shine.
Was Wolverine the go-to guy in the X-Men comics as well, or did Hugh Jackman's portrayal just boost it to a level where-
Wolverine got really popular in the 80s and 90s. And he actually wasn't even in the X-Men when it first came out. It wasn't until like later. And then the X-Men TV show, which this is a continuation of, also was very heavily focused on Wolverine. And then when Hugh Jackman took over, that like solidified it as he's the main character. But when X-Men first came out, it was Beast, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Iceman,
Angel.
Angel, and Professor X. That was the X-Men. That was it.
And Beast was human.
He was still in his human
He
form.
wasn't hairy. He just had big feet.
Yeah, he was
He was Beast Light.
like
Yeah.
he was like he had all like the same powers, but he turned it, which happened in the movies too.
Yeah.
He turned into the hairy beast when he would like
When he tried to cure
he
himself.
tried to cure himself, and then what it did, it like
It
it was the
mutated
opposite,
more.
and it mutated him even more, and he became even more beast-like.
Because, beasts are blue.
Naturally.
Naturally.
A funny story about that is they used to pick colors like that, like Thing is orange, Beast is blue, Hulk is green, because it was easier to print vibrant colors back in those days. Like they had like gray. Hulk was originally gray, and they had a hard time. Like the gray would be different colors depending on the page, and it wasn't consistent because they had a hard time being consistent with gray. And so Stan Lee was like, well, what color can you do that's consistent? And they were like, green. He's like, all right, make Hulk green. And that was literally all the thought they had in it.
Mhm.
And then now it's such an iconic color for the Hulk that
Yeah.
like it's like
I almost like that they use vibrant colors because it makes the characters truly do like feel completely different.
Make him pop.
And you could do so much with like gamma being green and like gamma radiation and all that stuff. And
yeah,
you
it just
could
kind
have
of
a lot
worked
more
out
fun.
that way
Yeah.
that he's green and but they didn't even think about that at the
Hmm.
time. It was just because they say green was the easiest easiest color to be consistent with.
Hmm.
And Stanley was like, all right, sure. Let's
It
do
is wild how that ends up influencing, because that story reminds me of like with Dragon Ball Goku. Like Super Saiyan is only blonde because it was cheaper to make the hair white in the manga. And so like that's it. That's the only reason it was cheaper, rather than fully shade in his black hair. They're like, let's just make it like white. And then
And then there's whole story reasons as to why that
Yep.
happens, and it completely changes everything.
but at first it was just budgetary reasons. It's like we can't afford to make his hair black every single.
It's so weird.
Right?
What a
It's
weird
too
thing to
much.
constrain
That
by.
is, I would be way cheaper, I guess, to not put any color versus all black.
Yeah.
Every single page. How much ink that would add up for all those different copy runs. Like that one decision saved us $700,000. What the fuck?
There's like that one person that was like got
Yeah.
the promotion.
But
Like, listen here.
like director of hair choice.
Yeah.
Like, have you thought about maybe making it white?
Like, oh my god.
let's just leave it blank.
Genius.
So yeah, X-Men '97. I know we're late to the party, but
Go check it out.
if you haven't watched it, if you're a Marvel fan, watch it. If you're an X-Men fan, definitely watch it. And it's good all around.
Yeah, it's right on par with Loki for me. Like some of the best Marvel TV that Marvel has put out. I think like
Yeah.
those two are top contenders. Everything else falls below it.
At least in recent times.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna say WandaVision for me is still up there.
WandaVision is up there,
WandaVision is
but
good, but
it's not as good as this for
That
me.
line still haunts me. Like, what is grief but love persisting, or something like
oh,
that?
I thought you were
Like,
gonna say they'll never know what you sacrificed.
When like they try and make her the hero at the end, even though she's been torturing.
She
this
was the
town.
one
Right?
that
Oh,
kidnapped
yeah.
the town, and then she let
Just
the
like-
town go.
branding all these people to like freaking submit to her will, and then they get 2 seconds like, I can help me, please. My fucking mind's scrambled. It's like, oh, okay,
Like,
go
oh,
back
poor
to normal.
Wanda, you lost your boyfriend.
They'll never know what you sacrificed.
I still to this day though, even though that the series as a whole isn't like in that upper echelon for
Mhm.
me, but I do think that the Vision versus Vision fight is one of the best fight scenes in Marvel for me. Almost because it's not a fight
It's just
so much as it is like a
Debate.
philosophy debate,
Yeah.
and I love that. That was at first I was ready for them to throw down Superman style, just go crazy, and then like when they stopped and just started having discussion, I was like, this is so perfect for who he is as a character.
Aren't they making Vision Quest?
I hope so. Last time we just see him fly away, and that's
Yeah.
it.
He's pondering deeply.
He's
Okay,
This is
a lot of cycles.
shaking me to my core. I
Yeah, he
need to
didn't
think
even
about
care
this.
when Wanda
Well, is
went
it-
insane.
I really want to see, like, okay, we were able to create this guy from pure vibranium or whatever. Like, I'm kind of over that as an excuse.
Yeah, vibranium.
Because he doesn't have the Infinity Stone, so it's like that to me was how it, like, that's how it was originally pitched. That's how the whole thing worked. Now he doesn't. Now he's just pure vibranium, and that's somehow just as good. And so it's like, has he been power limited because he doesn't have the stone anymore? I'm curious to see how they play that out on screen and what things he has and doesn't have anymore.
I think we talked about this in the past, though, how we got really tired of vibranium as a writing device. Like, it's just like that's their answer
It's
to
magic.
everything. Like
Powerful
vibranium,
substance in the universe, like
like
on Earth.
completely vibration absorbent is like its original description, and now all of a sudden it can just do anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing it can't do. Like,
oh, you need surgery? I need vibranium to do this surgery. And it's like, what the fuck? For what? Okay, so that's what you guys have been watching.
Yes.
I've been watching like some movies and stuff, and I found this subreddit called like underrated movies. And I didn't find this film from this subreddit, but this film has led me to the subreddit that I've been going through, and some of the choices are like pretty good. A lot of them, like a
Some
lot
of
of
them are
you go to
not.
the top ones, like there's like I don't know if you ever seen Grandma's Boy.
I like
Fun
that
movie.
one.
Like, it's just a fun movie, but it's
Yeah.
not really like. I wouldn't. I don't know. Like, I'm much more of like into drama stuff, so like those little slapstick comedy ones, it's like, I don't know. Maybe I've just aged out of or something. But I watched this movie called The Best Offer. Have you guys ever seen this movie?
never
Nope.
heard of it.
Okay. This fucking movie is like, it's kind of like noir-esque. It is like this it is like a suspense thriller drama movie, and it has this what's this guy's name?
Jeffrey Rush,
Jeffrey Rush, is that it? Yes, Jeffrey Rush.
Barbosa from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And this guy crushes it. I almost want, I don't know how much I want to give away here. Do you care? I mean, it came out over a decade ago.
No, you can gush
So,
about it.
I've been waiting.
I want to
watch
gush
this.
about this. I want
Go
to gush
for
about
it.
it because
Gush.
it was so not a film that I would be into. So it starts off, and like the first 15 minutes is just showing you like this guy, Jeffrey Rush. He's playing this guy named Mr. Oldman. He's like world-renowned antiquer. Like, he knows everything about all antiques, and it's just like, can walk into a house, be like, oh, that's 16th century. That's a forgery. That's real. And like, it spends the first 15 minutes impressing you about how well this guy is like at his
Knowledgeable.
job, how knowledgeable he is, and how accurate and how well respected he is universally. So, but then it turns out, like, you kind of find out that he's kind of like on the side running like a little bit of a scam. So like he'll say things are forgery when they're actually not, and then get his buddy to buy the forgery item because he runs auctions, and then he'll have the buddy buy it, and then they'll sell it for later on.
Interesting.
Or he'll give his buddy double the money and stuff like that. Anyway, so he's got like this kind of like side little thing, but it doesn't seem too prominent. Like, it's just every once in a while for like some collector's stuff. And then it goes into this guy's room in his apartment, and he has like this secret hidden room that's like 3 stories tall, and it's just filled with these female portraits, like just paintings with females on them. Not like nude, but just like a self-portrait if you were rich in like the 1700s.
Okay.
And these are like, he's like kind of like an old man virgin. He's never been with a woman. And like, these are the loves of his life. So he would go into this room and he would just see all these portraits, and none of them, like, maybe they were famous paintings, but I'm not someone that knows art, but
Right.
they were just paintings of women for the most part. Nothing crazy. And so he gets this call from this woman, and it's kind of like this mysterious woman, and he ends up going over to her house to do like a valuation. She has like this old house, and it's all filled with these antiques and stuff like that. But the trick is, this woman lives in like the walls of the house. She hasn't left the house in over 14 years. So she hides in the house. She has like what do they call it? Like agoraphobia or something like that, like
Yeah.
fear of open spaces. So she's been stuck in this house for like 14 plus years. at
Her own
least.
house?
Yes, her
Oh,
own
I thought you were
house.
saying his house.
And her parents, her parents had died a year before, and so she has not left in 14 years since she was a kid. She's 27 now. So he's this old man who's kind of intrigued by this mystery, and there's this like young, sexy woman who is like Sylvia Hoeks, however you pronounce that, who plays this
don't know anything about
this
her.
woman, and she's like super mysterious. And he's this horny old guy, right? Who's never been laid.
His name in the movie is Virgil Oldman.
Yeah, right?
That's
So,
almost sounds like Virgin Old Man.
yeah. So,
He's like, we need a name.
let's be literal here.
Intentional?
Hold on.
I
N-
think so.
L.
So there's like some interesting quirks about her. She's like a writer, but you never really know what she does or what she writes. And she's selling everything because she can't afford the house. And she has like caretakers and stuff like that. And you don't really know what's going on. So like this whole time, old man is trying to like warm up to her and get her out of the house. And like he's falling in love with this chick. And she's falling in love with him. Okay. And it's going on. And like the whole time they're like he's pricing all this stuff. There's like this really interesting like works of cogs like around the house, and he's like working with this guy who's like really mechanically inclined to like build this stuff. And he's like a younger guy who's like really sweet and smooth with the ladies, you know, and he's like giving them advice on how to treat this woman and stuff like that. Then it gets weird. So like
Then it gets weird?
dude. Yeah. So like this is not a movie that I would be like, yeah, this is, but like it's fucking intriguing at this point, the way that they directed it. And there's like all these little side things happening that you're like, why the fuck is this in the movie? Like there's this little person that's in a bar that like is a mathematical genius, and he would go into this bar and like get a drink or something like that, and she would just be spouting out numbers and shit like that in the background the whole movie, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And so he keeps going to this house, he keeps appraising this, and she's like a shitty client, and they go back and forth, this love and hate. She finally reveals herself to him because he kind of like hid in the room when he left, and then he like saw her and she freaked out. Then they warmed up and she
So
started.
he never saw her.
No, he saw her. So
No,
they-
I mean before then.
before then, no, he never saw it. So he like hid in a room behind a statue and saw her, and she was like, of course, she's like naked, like stretching and shit like that. And the first time you see her, she's like naked and like sucking on her toe. And like, yeah,
What the
because
hell?
she stepped on glass, so she's like trying to pull glass out of her toe and shit like that. And so like,
Why with her mouth?
so
What
he's
the fuck?
dude, because she's weird. So like, so he's clearly like, he's probably like 70 in the movie, and she's 27, and he's like horny old guy, right? And so he's like super infatuated with this
Virgil
woman.
Oldman.
So it starts to get even more weird. So they keep finding more and more of these robot parts, and
Robot parts?
like not robot parts, but like these cogs
Okay.
everywhere around the house. And they find out that it like could be a part of this like art contraption by some fucking guy who built like an animatron thing
Animatronic.
or whatever. Yeah. And so like his buddy giving him the advice is like helping him build it. And this robot is hella creepy. Not like robot. I don't know what you would call it. Like animatron. It's not a robot. It's like literally from the 1600s.
Automaton.
Automaton. Yeah. It's literally this. And it's hella creepy. This is what it's like looking like. And it like it's all cog worked and it's all pre-recorded, or like, you know, it's all just spinning gears and stuff like that. So it gets to the point where like he gets her out of the house. Or he doesn't get her out of the house. He gets her to like start to, you know, introduce and, you know, come out to the living room. They're having dinner in the house and stuff like that. And it gets to, he gets mugged in the street outside of the house, and he calls her, and she leaves the house to come save him. Okay. He gets fucked up pretty bad. And he goes to the hospital, and she goes with him. And so like, it's her first like breaking out. She's like, oh, I'm okay. You know? So then, like, he's still doing, like, these world-renowned auctions this whole time, and he's still running this scam with his buddy and stuff like that. And so it finishes, and she's like, I don't want to sell anything. I want to keep everything. And he's like, I totally agree, because he's in complete love with this girl at this point. And they're ready to run away and move to, like, fucking Paris and shit like that. And he goes and does like his greatest auction of all time. That's the young stud. That's good with women. He goes and does like
Jim
the
Sturgis?
finest. Yes,
The guy from 21.
he does the finest
Alright.
fucking auction of his career, and that's what he's going to retire on. And everybody claps because he just was world class and just great his whole career. And his guy like that he's been running these scams with, he's like, hey, you know, you never respected me as an artist, and that was sort of like a running joke that he never respected him as an artist, which is why he had to do this scam or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, but as a little going away party, I sent you a painting of my own, and it was like a painting that had been in her house. So he comes home and he sees this painting, and it's a painting in her house, and you're like, what the fuck? And he goes in to his fucking 3-story like big room with all the women that he had been collecting, and they're gone. They're
Uh-huh.
gone. And basically that's how the movie ends. And so like there's all these crazy conspiracies of like what happened, but basically what unfolds is this guy,
Young stud.
yeah, the young stud, because this robot was the only thing left in the room. And it was a recording of like a great line to be a final fuck you. It was like this recording of like every great forgery has like a stroke of personality of the forger or whatever. And it was something like that. And it was that recording. So you know that this guy was in on it because he was the one building it from all the gears. And then his scammer buddy was in on it because he was the one. So then the final scene is like he's fucking panicking because he's like trying to find this woman he's in love with. He goes back, and the woman, so like the woman he fell in love with, her name's Claire. That little person that lived across the street, that was her house. That's like just this like
Mathematical
savant.
genius. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I rent that out to cinema production people. This whole thing was
It
put
was all a
on
ruse.
by him to get him to fall in love with this woman, to get him to steal all his artwork and stuff like that. So it was this insanely elaborate scheme.
What the
And
fuck?
like the whole fucking, so like you think he would hate this woman because he goes to the police station, but he doesn't go in. He goes to like, he ends up moving to Paris, which is what he was going to do with her, and he waits for her at this restaurant that they dreamed of going to together. So like the whole like theme of the movie is like men are simp to women. And it was like this insanely crazy fucking twist that I did not see at all. The movie was so fucking good. And yeah, that's the room with all the paintings. All of those are jacked, and the only things left is this fucking
The robot.
this robot, this automaton with that recording. And it was just like fucking poetic, man. And so the theory is Claire, the woman that he fell in love with, was actually an automaton. Because she had a couple lines.
What?
Yes.
How did we get there?
Dude, I know. Well, like I don't think like I don't know if the movie necessarily directly draws that, but there's a couple lines in the movie. One in particular, like she's putting on makeup to be pretty for him, and she doesn't know how to put makeup on. She says this line. She says, "I haven't put makeup on in centuries," and so people are like, "Wait a minute, maybe she's an automaton," and he figured out how to like make her like this robot or whatever. And it's like kind of a jump, but I don't know, man. I took a deep dive into this movie the other night, and I'm like, this is such a fucking good movie, dude. It was so crazy shit. But it's like this whole love story, and you're like, oh, man, they're both getting each other out of their comfort zones. It's quirky. It's kind of weird. He's like 3 times her age. But
This
you
is
know what?
basically
Fuck it.
like a lover fraud scheme.
Dude,
Like a sweetheart scam.
yes.
Yeah, like this is a sweetheart scam, but at an extreme level.
Well, and it was done so good because there was a twist in the middle of the movie where you think, because she goes into hiding for like a week and they can't find her, and it makes it look like he kidnapped her because he fell in love with her. That's what it makes it look like. But then it resolves that because he ends up pushing him to continue to find her. He finds her. And then it totally absolves him. Like, you feel good a bit with him again. You're like, oh, wow, I was drawing to conclusions. And then, like, 30 minutes later, it hits you again that, like, oh, no, he was fucking scamming him the whole time. Because she was, like, hiding in the attic, the one place they didn't look, or whatever.
Dude, that is
Crazy movie.
the kind of movie that I feel like I would watch, and it would make me feel weird and uneasy afterwards.
So, dude, it was so weird. But it wasn't like, it was directed like a normal movie. It didn't have that like
Is this his
artistic.
scamming friend?
That was a scamming friend.
President Snow.
President Snow from the Hunger Games.
Donald Sutherland or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. That is
Fucking bomb movie. So good.
not something I feel like I would go out of my way to watch, but you do a good job selling it.
Yeah, that was a pretty good synopsis.
Dude, I was
buckled
on
in.
the hook. Like, I remember because my wife went to bed about halfway through it. She wasn't watching it. She was working in the other room. And I'm like, babe, I don't know why I love this movie, but I'm fucking hooked right now. Like, I am dialed in because I'm like, where is this going? Is he just going to fall
So
in
what did
love?
the
But
numbers
no.
mean?
What numbers?
Why
So
was she
the
a
midget-
mathematical
The
savant?
small savant.
I don't even know what that. So okay. So the way it worked was, that was our way as an audience to confirm that she was in fact leaving the house because she remembered everything. So she was like, she talked in very monotone. You have entered that home 63 times in the last 2.5 months or whatever it is. That's him like going over there. And she's like, I have noticed her leave and come and go from that house 261 times over the past 2 years. And then she says at the end, like, are you interested in renting? That's my house. I rent it to cinema people. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? And her engineer, the one in her building, because she lives across the street, above the bar or whatever, is the robotics guy.
That is so weird.
Yeah. And it's like, oh
Huh.
my God, man. And it was like
I thought
twist
it was
after twist.
I thought it was gonna go like full serial killer horror until you laid it all out, and then it's like, oh no, this guy just got fucked over.
And you feel so sorry for him because he gets like so sad and
That is
he's
so
angry,
pathetic.
but he turns into like a simp. Because he was so in love with this woman.
Well, he was scamming people, so
Yeah. Well, but like as a guy,
Kinda
you just
deserved it.
he was scamming people, but like yeah, it was
You
scammy.
connected
It
with
was
him.
scammy.
It
like
was
yeah,
scamming.
like you almost forgave it. But
He
with how
reminds
much
me
you
of
enjoyed
my
the character.
scamming days.
Because he was scamming them to like add to his collection. I don't think he was. It didn't show that he was like selling these things. Like he was just falling in love with them. So
Well, I think there's a fine line between not being like one of those alpha sigma male, like annoying people, but also maintaining self-respect and control. and this guy did not know where that line was.
he saw that
apparently.
27-year-old woman sucking her big toe, and,
And
was
he's like, "Ooh,
that's
ooh."
what I need in my life."
I feel like what, and this is real life, this happens. If you're in a situation where something feels like it's too good to be true, it's because it is. Like, this person was weird. So maybe that's why he was able to buy, well, maybe she would like someone like me because she had no idea she was agoraphobic, and all that.
Yeah.
So, but like 27-year-olds generally don't just go after 7-year-olds because they think they're cute.
Right.
Like,
Dude.
be aware of your situation.
But you know what's crazy? Like they made it seem plausible. The whole
Yeah.
the way they set it up, it was like I don't know. It was so.
She was just
interesting.
weird enough for you to buy it.
Yeah.
Be like, I could
Because
see
at the
ya.
beginning of the movie, he dyed his hair constantly. Like he was very phobic of like how old he was, so he looked younger. But then she like made fun of him because she dyed his hair, and then he started not dyeing his hair.
That is so funny that his name is Virgil Oldman.
Dude, one of the better movies I've ever seen.
So, any
Wow,
other movies
that
that
is-
recommended on that subreddit that you've watched?
A lot of just like classic ones that I haven't watched too many on that list. Like Grandma's Boy was on there.
I thought
There's
it was
a
like
bunch of other
underrated
ones.
films. Like this fits in that category perfect. But if they're like, have you seen Gone with the Wind?
Yeah,
like
there was a
like-
few that was like, what's that one with Ben Stiller? Like the fat camp one, the Heavyweights.
heavyweights.
Like I feel like everybody our age had seen that.
that
when
takes
we
me
were
back
kids.
to like being a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of movies like that, but this
I love
Yeah.
I love film.
this was a fucking banger. It's on HBO Max, I think, or Paramount or something like that.
I'll have to check out that subreddit though. That sounds interesting.
Underrated movies.
Yeah,
All right, let's
there's some
change
good
this to
suggestions
top
on there.
top all time.
Grandma's Boy.
Grandma's Boy.
It's on there like 3 times too in the top 10.
Running Scared. Saving Silverman.
Saving Silverman is underrated.
Some of these I feel like are just
Overboard?
Well, you're looking at the most rated, underrated movie, so it's
Yeah.
like gonna bias towards the top end.
Yeah.
Idiocracy is like a cult classic.
Yeah.
I think it's okay, but I feel like there's a huge following for that movie. I guess I don't know. I would love to see like I feel like movies like this on there would be
100%.
much more interesting.
Yeah, like I've
than-
That's
never
what I was
heard of
like-
that.
Right, me
Whereas-
neither.
Yeah. I
Whereas
would-
some of these movies on that I'm also scrolling through, I've heard of. Like I've Idiocracy, Grandma's Boy. What about Bob?
The-
Bedazzled.
Bob.
What?
Bob.
What about Bob?
What about Bob?
Yeah, the one with Bill Murray. And
Oh
Richard
yeah,
Dreyfuss.
yeah.
Bedazzled. Like I understand that Bedazzled. Yeah, probably a lot of people didn't watch it, but I've seen it and I like it. It's a good movie.
If I've seen it, it's not that underrated.
yeah, it's not that underrated. They have a waiting Hot Rod.
Have you guys thought about going to see Furiosa?
I
Like the Mad Max thing.
Yeah, it's like a prequel.
Is that out right now?
yeah.
Yeah, it came out. It's like I felt like it was under the radar. I didn't see much advertising on it, and then one day it was just out.
I'm not that interested. I really liked Mad Max Fury Road, but the trailers that I've seen of this one, it looks like I feel like it looks too CGI.
Really?
I don't know. That's the impression I get. Whereas Mad Max Fury Road, I felt like was practical, and that's the reason I liked it. This one looks, I don't know. It doesn't look the same.
I feel like I don't know nearly enough of. I haven't even watched. I haven't even seen a trailer. Like I'm not like I don't ignore like news. Like I feel like I have a generally like a pretty good grasp of what's coming out, what isn't. But I feel like this one really got by me somehow. But it got really good reviews.
Oh,
No, but it's not gonna make any money.
Yeah.
I heard it's like gonna flop hard because it needs to make at least 600 million
Well,
to break even.
and the thing is
What the 600 million?
Jesus.
This was just on an article I read. I can't verify if that's.
Oh my.
I'm looking up.
God. I feel like we've gone way off. The
Doesn't
deep
mean the
end.
budget. Like I don't know how they calculate how to break even because I look at film budgets and I look at how much, and
There-
it looks to me like it broke even. Like it's gonna be a flop, and I don't know where they come up with some of these numbers. To be honest with
It
you,
says the budget is reported to 168 million.
Okay, that seems a lot better.
the budget, but to break even, it says it needs to make around 600 million. And
for
again,
them to,
I don't know
for them
how.
to feel good about.
I don't know why that's the number that they
Because corporate returns, Kyle.
maybe.
We
Maybe.
need the 3x our investment. That doesn't even seem that high, actually.
And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but in regards to Furiosa, the Mad Max Fury Road came out like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It lost some steam.
Well, yeah, it's like I would have probably been more interested in if it came out like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years after after that one. But now
I guess
it's a prequel to a character that was kind of cool.
But Mad Max Fury Road came out like 30 years after
True.
the one before that.
Yeah, I don't know. When I looked at the trailer, I wasn't interested. But I guess it got good reviews. But who knows if
don't
it'll
know.
survive. And then now we got The Hunt for...
What is this? What are we looking at here? Lord of the Rings,
Have you-
The Hunt for Gollum?
Have you not seen this? Have you heard of any of this? Are we
You
talking
were-
about this at all?
Only from you.
Yeah, we were talking
Whoa.
about this.
You want to kick that back?
What-
I think we lost the the arch there.
Last podcast, you were
There you
telling
go.
us about this.
So okay, so
You said it was rumored that it might be a golem.
yeah, so they've came out and confirmed it, I guess, because I see an actual poster. I don't know how true this is, but I think it's getting confirmed. We're moving. I mean, 2026. If they're writing script, like they got to get fucking moving on this. But here we go. This is what they own the rights for. So this is what we're fucking getting. This is a Peter Jackson film with the original writing team, which that excites me from Lord of the Rings.
I don't give a shit about Gollum anymore.
No, I don't.
over
And
it.
it's the Hunt for Gollum. You know what? You know when this takes place? It's the 20 years in the books from when Keep It Secret, Keep It Safe happens in the movies
Yeah.
to when he comes back and asks him to throw it in the fire, and it's quite cool. It's like 5 minutes in the movie, and that 20-year gap is when Legolas and Aragorn go and hunt down Gollum to try and find him, and they realize that Sauron got to him first. And so that's what this movie's about. I'm like, fuck me, dude. I'm tired of Gollum.
Well, it almost seems
He
like
was perfect for the Rings movie, but like, I don't need to see that character anymore.
so. If it's a hunt for Gollum, Gollum might not be in it that much. Is my hope,
Hopefully not.
and it's just Aragorn and Legolas.
we're on a journey.
But
yeah, to find.
we know how
Gollum.
it turns out. They didn't even succeed. So like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's
you
not
can't have,
interesting.
you don't have anything better.
There's
And I know
so
they don't
much
own the
lore.
rights. I know they don't own the rights to the First Age or like the Silmarillion stuff. So, but like, come the fuck on, man.
They could literally. Okay, I know that the community would hate this, but they could literally have a story around an unsung hero that wasn't in the original movies. But there were thousands of people involved in these battles. They could have so many stories of like someone that has never been in the movies or anything. If they really wanted to go that route, you can't tell me that this hunt for Gollum is going to be faithful to the source material. If they're going to go that route, then just, like I want to follow some dude, like some Rohan rider that is like just trying to survive long enough to get back home to his kids. Make it like 1917 style, but like Lord of the Rings.
That would be cool.
Like they could do. Not everything has to be around like these well-known characters, especially if you're going to treat it.
No,
like this.
and they're bringing back like they're not recasting. They're not going to bring back freaking Viggo Mortensen, who's like 65 or whatever at this point. Andy Serkis, it looks like he's reprising
directing
his role.
it.
Who?
Andy Serkis is directing it.
I don't believe
Peter
so.
Jackson is producing. That's what it
Oh,
just said
Is
here.
that what it's saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Andy Serkis is directing with Peter
So
Jackson.
he
as a
just wants to
producer.
star in his movie.
Okay. Listen, Andy, you killed it. You fucking killed
Jackson is back as producer on Hunt for Golem alongside his first two films.
it. Fran Walsh and is
Hmm.
it Christopher Boyens or something like that? I don't remember his last name or his first name. But
Yeah.
listen, I'm excited that it's another Lord of the Rings film. I'll watch it. Yeah, I am not hyped. You know what I mean?
I'm
This
with
is
you.
not something that I'm like, yeah. Now, Rings of Power season 2, yes, but this, nah.
Oh, he did Venom. Let There Be Carnage.
Who did?
Circus.
You know what they
Andy
they
Serkis?
saw?
He
they s-
directed that?
That's what it says right there. Circus has developed his bona fides as a director of blockbuster films with
I didn't know he directed Venom. Let There Be
Let
Carnage.
There Be Carnage, the second Venom.
They saw how great the video game Gollum did, and they're like,
yeah.
we need that as a movie.
That would sell like hotcakes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I love Andy Serkis. I think he does great, but I don't care about Gollum, and I would just as a new Lord of the Rings like enjoyer,
Just come up with something new.
there's so much to that world that I would rather they explore than the weird balding
Yeah.
creature
Yeah.
that
I'm telling you, man, like a good grounded story of just a normal person.
aren't there more rangers than just fucking Aragorn?
Yeah. The Dunedain. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
There are a few that remain.
Let's do the you just played through Shadow of Mordor. Let's make a movie out of that.
Yeah, that's an original character.
That'd be phenomenal.
Talion. Okay.
You're a ranger, and you're literally going through, and like you don't even have to have the whole Celebrimbor, spirit imbued, whatever. No,
Yeah.
you could literally just be like, we're hunting orcs, and you're collecting intel on the orc captains, and you're finding the orc
add some
chiefs.
special items that are cool, like this is the sword of
Yep,
blah 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 blah.
yep. That I can kill this. Yep, and then you literally just go through and you weaken Sauron's army.
Yeah.
Easy.
Ends with a fight against a general that's really cool.
They could have an office style comedy
Yes.
set in the world of Lord of the Rings.
In Middle Earth.
Specifically the Shire. It's the office, but it's all hobbits.
That would actually probably be funny.
What about like a classic style of like NCIS, right? Or
Like
like
Castle?
yeah, just gonna say Castle. Like style like
Detective.
that, where like they're the ranger, they get a report in like, oh, this band of Uruks are fucking things up and orcs or whatever, and here's the leader, and And then they spend the whole episode and they go and kill him, and then the next one's a completely new band of bandits, and they have to go kill that
There we
one.
go. Greatest serialized.
Everyone's a little different. They can have fun with that. I don't
It's
know,
a
just fucking
noir style thriller.
in
set
some
in the
Middle
21st
Earth.
century.
Some guy narrating with a pipe, trying
I
to.
came back that night and she was alone.
gone.
I don't know. It's just we talked about this a million times. You could do so much, but they don't want to. What's low risk? The hunt for. Did you see how big the text Gollum was?
Gollum.
Oh my God, Gollum! I could do that. I love those guy. I love him.
I love that guy.
I'm still buy a little plushie of Gollum.
He's so cute, especially when he burns alive at the end.
Yeah,
He's so
he's
cute.
so happy. He smiles while igniting.
While igniting.
Holding the ring is. I do love that touch in the film where he's so like enamored by it that he literally like holds it out of the lava as
Yeah.
long as he can. Like, that's a good touch for me.
Mhm.
But I don't need to see a movie on Gollum.
No.
He's good for the film and the books as a a sort of a cautionary tale / plot device to show the horrors that could happen to someone that becomes too obsessed with it.
If they hold on to
But you
the
don't
ring
need
for
a
too long.
story around more than what we've already got.
Well, and we know the story. You see it in the movie. He portrayed his best
Exactly.
friend, and that's it. Like, what else? He hung out around in a cave, like eating fish.
For 500
Eating
years.
raw
didn't see
500 years.
sunlight.
Yeah,
Do you ever wonder like why he succumbed so quickly?
He's a
true.
weak hobbits.
We got-
Like
Well, no,
hobbits, hobbits
he's a
are
subset of hobbits, right? He's like Neanderthal,
a
Is he?
Neanderthal,
right?
Hobbit.
That's
I haven't heard that.
I thought that's how it was. He's like
Are you? Is there racism within the Hobbit community?
no, but he's like a subset. He's like a
Speciesism?
where hobbits kind of drifted
He's a
off from
took.
him.
The full of a took.
the Tooks are the adventurous ones. Was Gollum a
A
hobbit?
Different
Neanderthal
species.
hobbit. Maybe.
So it says he was a Storish hobbit, which is one of the 3 races of hobbit in Middle Earth. He went by the name of Smeagol. It doesn't say that they're like lesser hobbits. They're just
Well,
a
they're
type
just-
of
they're
hobbit.
different.
More like men, easily corrupted.
They're not
Then-
from the Shire.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Bilbo's hobbit and Frodo's hobbit, I feel like we're much more resistant
Yeah.
to the
You
The
know
temptation.
what
fact
it is?
that Bilbo just drops the ring on the floor and walks out, like that's insane.
It's a lot of willpower.
Yeah.
Although he almost loses it when there's that jump scare where he's like, "Nah." And he looks all creepy.
He just wanted it one more time.
I know. And then even at the end, do you have that ring, grandson?
That's my nephew. It's a shame. I would have liked to have seen it one last time. And he does that again.
But you know what? Here's some mithril. You know, it's more than the entire value of the Shire or whatever. it
Saved his
counts.
life.
Yeah.
So
Did it
Billy,
save his life more than the one time, the mithril, or is it just the one time with the ogre?
It's just a one time.
Okay.
At least for, in the film. I don't know in the books.
you played through Shadow Mordor. You inspired me to. Thankfully, it's on Game Pass. I downloaded.
Oh, it is?
War
I didn't
for
even check.
Mordor.
I never checked, and I have it.
War, not Shadow Mordor. War for Mordor. Or the
Shadow of
second
War.
one.
Shadow
Shadow
of
of
War.
War was
War for Mordor.
War for Mordor is the one that's on Game Pass.
Oh, okay, cool. So I
I-
got them both in bundle.
Unfortunately, I have to say on console it's pretty bad. Like
Really?
just
Like gameplay wise?
no, just and it's gonna sound elitist, but there's no option for frame rate, so it's stuck at like a solid 30, 40, and it's bad.
What about on Steam Deck? Can you run it?
It might, but I would have to buy it there. I
Oh.
know you said it was on sale, but
You can.
um,
You could.
He's a console
Can you
boy.
put Game Pass on your Steam Deck?
Yeah,
I'm
can't you?
pretty
never
sure
tried.
you can.
I probably could.
Yeah, it's just Windows.
But yeah,
Or-
because I tried to play it in that frame rate, I was like,
Linux.
"Ooh." It was like this is tough. I was like, I know my Xbox, whatever the fuck I got, Series X can handle better than this. And also, Talion is ugly.
Telling us, I need my character to look cool.
No, I'm just saying he's ugly.
Is he?
When you look at him,
That never crossed.
it's like
I don't
Kyle.
think you
I
care
don't
what your
play.
characters look like.
Yeah, true. It's like Kyle, you know,
Stare at
like
the back of his head.
Batman, all the games, how Bruce Wayne was kind of weird looking.
Yeah, I'm always like, put your mask back
Yeah,
on, bro.
Talion looks like that. And I'm like, all right.
I just started Shadow War because I beat Shadow Mordor. I have to tell you about my experience in Shadow Mordor. I had to fight this one captain. Let me read you his. I took a photo of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Did I send it to you
I
guys?
think you did. Yeah.
He's fucking stacked.
I need to tell you guys about how beastly this captain was. It took forever to take him down. Okay, ready? His weaknesses can be branded. That's it. Okay? That's all. His strengths, invulnerable to stealth, invulnerable to ranged, able to kill monsters quickly, so you can't get like Karagors like to sick on him because he'll just one-shot them. Okay? He's deadly, so his attacks do more damage. And what they actually do is they bleed you. So if he hits you once, I was bleeding to death. Okay? Just one hit. Once time it hit. He does a ground pound AoE randomly that you can't it doesn't give you a dodge cue for. So it'll knock you back and then he can hit you. Okay? And then he's battle hardened. He's harder to kill. And he has a fucking shield, which means you can't hit him. You have to vault over him, but his thing is he couldn't vault over him because he had such a great shield that he would grab you and throw you back. So you had to sneak up behind him to fucking run around him to be able to stagger him or whatever. I'm not done. He has no chance, which means if he downs you all he has to do is hit you once, you don't get that last chance prompt to save yourself. You just immediately wipe. And then he also is fearless. He can't be terrified and never runs away.
Dude.
This is this fucking guy. So the last mission in that game, spoilers, the game's 10 years old. Calm down. You basically brand yourself an entire army of Sauron. This fucking guy was one-shotting Sauron's captains. He literally was walking up, boom, and you see their health just fucking bleed out. And he finished the fight full health. I literally walked through that entire fight. This fucking guy was so good. He killed me 8 times, and he was the ugliest fucking guy you've ever seen in your life, and I hated it.
What was his name?
I didn't take a photo of that. It was something random. I don't even know. But this guy was a legend, and I want to bring him into the second game so bad because he was fucking impossible. God, he was so good. We walked
He's
through.
The main character in canon.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if you guys remember, but Shadow of Mordor, that game ends has one of the worst final bosses fights of all time. There's it is not a fight. You just stealth on a guy 3 or 4 times, and then the game ends. And
I still remember
kinda
the
lame.
first time you played, because you played that game before me. I didn't play it till afterwards. Your arch enemy that you created, his name was Pigug. And I remember you were you're like, this fucking guy. And his name was Pig Ugg. And then when he walked back, Pigug.
Yeah.
Pigug.
Arch nemesis.
And it was the funniest thing, because he had the funniest name, but the way they chanted it still made it sound kind of badass.
Dude, that's what I loved about that game was it made it feel like everything was so epic when you would identify certain people. They would chant. And then sometimes you look at their names and you're like, that's not cool. I already came across a guy in the Shadow War game. It was something the friendly. And he was like, hey, let's not fight. I'm okay with you. If you want to just run away, I'm happy with that, okay? And that's how I'm like, there's so many fucking variants of these
There's
Urks.
a
It's
character
so crazy.
voiced by what's that? He was in Silicon Valley, the Indian guy, and he was also in the Eternals. What's his name? Or not Indian. I think he's
I know who you're talking about.
Pakistani.
Yeah.
Oh,
God, what is that guy's name?
it's on the tip of my tongue.
Why am I'm blanking on it? He got super jacked. Yes,
Kumail.
Nanjiani. He voices a character as a joke in either Shadow of War or Shadow of Mordor, where he's just using his normal voice.
He does?
He does, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
And it's just it's like a little Easter egg joke thing. And he just uses his same voice, but he says these intimidating lines, but within his voice. And it's super funny.
Well, there's also like in the first game, you help this guy named Ratbag get to the top. You basically kill everything for him, and then he cuts off their ear and acts like he killed them, but he didn't. And it's a fucking fun game. Like it's just a fun game. The whole game is gameplay. It's just fun.
It's just fun, damn it.
Yeah. So I played that, and then I'm also grinding. Not grinding, but I played Hades 2 a lot.
Nice.
I'm having a lot of fun with that. I want to see some more itemization and some a little more polish around like the different builds, because I don't feel like a lot of the builds feel rewarding to play. Like it almost kind of wants you to go into certain style of play types. And so I'd like to see that. It also took me a little bit to adjust to this type of game, because I for so long I always thought like, oh, I'm gonna get to a point where I get all my health back. Nope. So like I had to really realize like, okay, never ever lose health ever.
Yeah.
So I ended up, it's in early access. I ended up getting to Kronos, which is the final boss, and I almost got him to his second phase. But
You never played the first one, right?
Mm.
You should. It's so good.
I'm enjoying the second one.
But the first one's complete.
He's not a
Fleshed
gamer
out.
that will ever understand. You just
True.
gotta accept that.
Accept it.
I've been playing. I finally Baldur's Gate. I'm slowing down a little bit. I
Thank
played. I
That's
started
about
Sekiro.
That's about how much I was in it before I slowed down.
Yeah, I started Sekiro again.
Yeah, you know that's the Souls game that I played the least. I've only beat it once.
That was the first one I ever beat, and so I'm going back through it again now that I'm a veteran Souls player. And
Are you better?
It's fun. It's
So good.
you can tell. I mean, it feels so nice going to a game like that because it's just so polished. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
this game is like, you can tell they made it because they love it.
Mhm.
Like they love this game, and so it's just fun to play. There's no microtransactions. There's no bullshit.
That's From Software
Yep.
for you.
And I haven't even fought like my first true boss yet. But that parry mechanic,
It's crisp, man.
it's
good.
crisp. It's nice.
That's sort of what the Jedi games were built around,
Yeah.
like style wise.
Very, very similar because you have the parry or you have the stagger bar that
Mhm.
builds up. Did you ever play that one, Billy? You tried or
A
something?
little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm playing. What about you, Kyle?
I haven't been playing a lot of video games. I mean, between like just personal stuff and life going on, I haven't had a chance. Last game I played through to completion was I did another playthrough of The Outer Worlds.
Nice.
Which is like it's a fun, rich RPG, but it's not a huge time commitment because it's not particularly massive. So like it's fun if you want to experience beginning to end in like under 20 hours, it's very doable to do it like that. So that's why I like it. It's not overwhelming to get
It's not a
involved
huge
in it.
hurdle.
Yeah.
I played quite a few board games recently. We did.
Have you heard of
played
Monopoly?
Have you heard of Settlers of Catan?
Settlers
We
Catan?
played that,
Yep.
and we played it the other night as well. That's just a classic, fun one. Classic. I don't know how old it is, but it's probably like 10 years old.
It's probably older than that.
I think it's older than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's older than that.
And then my wife and I have been playing this game called Villainous, which is really fun. It's a board
Oh,
game.
yeah, yeah.
I've heard
that's
of
a
that one,
Disney.
huh?
You play as a villain, and what's really fun about that game is your
Dude.
player experience.
Sorry to cut you off, but Settlers of Catan is 30 years old.
Wow, I would not have guessed that.
Came out in 95.
Wow.
29 years old.
What's fun about Villainous is every single person, that game plays completely different for every single person. Like, so you're given a character and you have your own completely unique objectives. And like the heroes are the bad guys in that game because you're the villain, obviously.
Yeah.
And
No, really.
that's what's fun. Like you literally get to come up with your own strategy for your character.
What version do you play?
There's versions?
Yeah, there's a Star Wars Villainous. There's a Marvel Villainous.
Oh no, this one just has a
Disney
I think
villains?
it's just a base one, yeah.
Yeah, they have
So-
a Marvel one.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It's because Disney owns,
Yeah.
all those properties. But
We have I think just the base one, so like Maleficent and Jafar, Queen of Hearts, things
Hades?
like that.
on the Marvel one,
Ursula.
Thanos is on the cover with
Not
his
Hades.
gauntlet.
Not Hades?
Nope.
Hades isn't in there.
That's wild.
Prince John,
He's in there?
Robin Hood.
Prince
but
John
not
is in there,
Hades.
but not Hades.
I don't
All
think
right.
so.
James Wood.
Interesting.
Oh,
We're
boy.
looking at list of characters
Captain
on
Hook, Jafar, yeah, Maleficent, Prince John, Queen of Hearts.
He's in an expansion. Wicked
Dr.
to the core.
Facilier. He'd be a good one. Oh, Radigan from the Mouse Detective?
Great Mouse Detective.
and Elden Ring, Radagon.
Yep.
Lotso? Lotso from Toy Story, the bear?
Oh wow, really? That's fun.
Yeah. Ooh, Oogie Boogie.
I've never played it.
It's fun.
Who's King Candy?
King-
Where's King Candy from?
Keep going down.
I was gonna say we have a photo of it. No.
Pete was a villain? Like Goofy's friend Pete?
Yeah.
And originally he was a villain?
Yeah, because he's
Oh, King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh.
Okay. I'm not nearly as caught up on all these new films.
No.
I didn't even know who Prince John was before this past few weeks. Like that wouldn't have
Is Prince John from
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, like from the 60s?
Yes.
Okay.
73, I believe.
I don't think I've actually seen the Disney one.
That's what I was telling my wife. She made me watch it because I was like, I don't
Wait, the
know
Fox
if,
one?
Yes.
I love the
I'm
Fox
like,
one.
I don't know if I've ever seen
I
that
don't think
movie.
I've ever seen it.
And I legitimately, she was like, "You're crazy." I'm like, I
You're
don't
crazy.
think I have seen it.
That's
wild.
that.
And I watched it.
We have that to thank for like furries.
You're right.
That was the
It
Inception
made an impression on.
It did.
on Gen
That's
X.
literally what I was thinking about the whole time. I'm like, how many
They
people
drew that.
sipped this
They
shit?
drew that the woman fox a little too.
a
Pretty.
little too.
pretty,
That's
you know?
like there's
That
a,
was exactly what a fury would say.
A few.
A furry.
I'm not a furry.
the whole
the fox was a little
discourse
too
over Lola Bunny from Space Jam.
Lola Bunny. Everybody can agree, I think.
There's so many good Disney villains.
Now
though.
Lotso.
Lotso is what I'm into.
I like more like the broken doll. You know, the that's
The creepy one in the first one with the spider doll.
Yeah.
All right, so villainous.
That sounds fun though.
It is a fun game.
What are the villains in the Marvel one? I'm curious.
Let me see.
Marvel.
You have Thanos of obviously.
Hela, Killmonger, Taskmaster, Thanos, Ultron.
Loki.
I was looking at the list, but you
Hold on.
scrolled down.
I was gonna show you the pictures because like the other one had a nice little graphic but didn't have it.
MODOK,
Venom. Nice.
Doctor
Dr.
Octopus,
Octopus.
Kang the
Kang.
Conqueror,
Titania.
Doc Ock.
Titania.
That seems cool.
I mean, what else? You know what? I want Justin Hammer on that list.
Be able to play him.
Justin Hammer is the most underrated villain for me in Marvel.
Who is he?
He's in Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2, he's the Tony Stark wannabe.
The salesman.
You don't remember Justin Hammer?
No.
He's the guy that says, "I call this the ex-wife," and then it's
It's like-
a bomb that goes, "This is pink."
This is the bullet this is the missile that'll destroy the bunker within the
I
bunker.
remember
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Because that actor plays like a lot of loser characters.
He plays a lot of good characters.
He's so good. He was in
Yeah.
Argyle. We talked about it like a couple podcasts ago. how
I love
think
one of
he's-
my favorite lines in that movie is when they're looking at all the failed Iron Man experiments and that one twists the body directly in half and he's like, it was one of Justin Hammer's and he's like, I'd like to point out that test pilot survived. And it literally like ripped the dude in half.
It's not him.
No,
You're not talking
hit
about-
that.
No, not
next,
Ivan.
Hit the next. It's right there.
Sam Rockwell.
That's exactly who I was thinking of. Yeah. He's always in the Green Mile. Yep. I was
He's
exactly-
always
He's always in that movie.
always.
Every year they release that movie, he's in it. I
He's
don't
in it.
understand.
He's been in every one.
Galaxy Quest. He falls
Charlie's
in love
Angels.
with the lame.
Dude, I
Yeah.
love him in Galaxy Quest.
Charlie's Angel. He's good. He's kind of like the loser boyfriend of one of the angels. Yeah.
He doesn't fall in love with the alien in Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, he does. No.
No.
Yeah, that's the other
That's
guy,
The other guy. Yeah.
Monk.
He's the one that's like, whoa, hey, man, get
Yeah.
a room. Oh, that's not right. And he starts making out with the octopus thing. I love he's all obsessed because his character died in the TV show. He thinks he's gonna die. He's like constantly. Galaxy Quest is the one I would put on that list of underrated movies. It's so good. It's like a.
Have you seen it, Billy?
It doesn't ring any bells.
It's like a tribute / parody of Star Trek. But basically the idea is they
It's
were
like
in a very popular Star Trek like show in the
Is
in
it
the
a
80s.
series or is it
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
It's got Alan Rickman.
Tim Allen, Alan Rickman.
It's Sigourney Weaver. Yeah.
Jesus.
And so they're like
What's it
they
on?
were in a very popular like Star Trek like show.
Mhm.
And now they just go to conventions and they're all kind of like, what did we do with our lives, you know? But this alien race has been observing this TV show thinking it's real.
And they
thought-
based their
they thought
whole
that this-
reality.
so they based their whole culture around this show. And then they bring him to, because they're like, we're getting attacked by this other alien race. They bring them here to like help save them. And so they go on this actual space adventure where the ship is built just like the one in the TV show because that's what they had as a reference. And it turns into this like epic,
Yeah.
like,
and they're
like-
just actors.
and they're
Like-
just actors. And Alan Rickman is like this bitter guy that he's like a classically trained Shakespearean actor, and he's all pissed off that he's only known as this like character from this TV show, and he's always all grumpy all the time. But it's a really good
Sounds
movie.
very on character for him.
Yeah.
It's a very good movie.
It's really good.
Sigourney Weaver. She
I'm gonna
went
watch
against. She went against type. She played like the stereotypical like dumb blonde,
Damsel.
not dumb, but like damsel in distress, you know. And she's not. She's like she said, I so often play these like kick-ass women in shows. I wanted just a chance to just play like
The dumb.
like the damsel, yeah. But like
Have total fun.
it's funny. It's got a lot of heartfelt moments.
Mhm.
And I would say
I've seen
that
so many clips from this show, but
I would
never
say that
actually
it,
watched
it honors
got Dwight
Star
in
Trek more than it. Yeah, it honors Star Trek more than it like makes fun of it. I would say.
Yeah.
Did you say Dwight?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Click
he plays
on-
like a little background extra alien that shows up every now and
Oh Jesus.
then. Yeah.
That's the chick from Dodgeball, right? Where they make her look super ugly.
Yeah.
Is that the same one? Yeah.
With the pigtails. But it's
Yeah,
a good movie.
you gotta check it out.
All
It's
right,
good.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Tim Allen is a star.
It was like height of like Tim the Toolman Taylor
Yeah.
days, so he was like really popular. Then Tim Allen.
Could he play a Marvel hero?
Tim Allen? I don't think he
I mean, he was
could
Buzz
voice.
Lightyear.
He could voice.
Yeah.
There's no way Disney hires him.
He's like Iron Man.
Who would he even play?
It'd have to be like
It'd be like a retired like dad. With like some hero that's like, nah, I'm
some
fucking
council
done.
member somewhere or something
Yeah.
like.
That's like there for comedic.
That's like what's his name randomly showing up in Guardians. The dude from Step Brothers.
Oh, John C. Riley?
Yeah, John C. Riley is just in Guardians
Guardians
randomly.
1, yeah.
Guardians
Yeah.
1. Like,
And 2, yeah.
is he in 2?
Because
He has a
he's
family in 2.
contact, yeah.
Oh, I don't even remember him in 2, to be honest with you. But it's just
Is he in 3?
It's
He's not
weird.
in 3 though.
it's weird that he's in that show.
Yeah.
In that movie. You know, that's what I would feel like seeing Tim Allen in a
In a Marvel movie.
yeah.
Like Will Ferrell, like like, what the fuck?
He
As
does.
Anchorman.
He does that noise. Spotify. I already said him. But you can also watch us stream live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time,
Yeah.
or hopefully you're watching us right now. And leave us a like, comment, subscribe, and also check out our hilarious shorts that we upload. Because
It's just now
your
it's just
shorts.
getting to the point it's just like shorts from our episodes,
yeah.
Which is better.
which is it's true to us.
Bye, guys.
True to our essence. Bye.